The utility of speed is only present if you are the only one running.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Blurred Summits. Today on Gratitude Friday, we're talking about remaining present, why we should remain present, and is speed inherently bad? So, Abdul, tell me a little bit about this quote that you just mentioned there.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, what the quote is saying is this idea that we run because we want to be ahead, right? If you run a race, you're going to be running quicker because you want to be first place in that race. The issue is that when you run to get a little bit quicker, let's say progress faster up in life, then everyone else starts running a little bit quicker with you. And once they run quicker as well, then you guys are all running at the same pace. And then once you are running at the same pace, you need to run a little bit quicker. Then they catch up. Then you run a little bit quicker. So it's a never ending cycle of essentially stress and anxiety. The better solution is to, according to Alan Watts, who was the person who said this quote, is to take a step back, to not run in the race. Because if you're running in the race and you're in this perpetual cycle of just faster and faster and faster, then all you're really going to be doing is getting more stress, getting more anxiety, and getting the same amount done as you initially were getting, right? So instead, he said, be present in the moment. Instead, slow down a little bit. Don't worry about running so quickly. And when you can slow down and be present and enjoy the journey as you're running it, then you will be more fruitful in the end.
Even on things when it comes to just walking down the street, right, Abdul? That's your go-to thing. You're
Oh,
always okay.
absolutely.
Slow down, walk
Absolutely.
super slow, walk as slow
I'm
as you
the
can.
slowest walker I know.
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah.
it's kind of funny. Every single time I'm walking with anyone, like any one of my friends, it's known that I'm like a ridiculously slow walker because like why are we rushing, man? I'm like, "Oh, relax. It's I thought we were just going, we're just hanging out, we're just walking. Like chill out a little bit." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we give you so much beef for that all the time. It's like, come on, man, pick it up, pick it up.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I'm like, "Where are
yeah.
we going? Where's the marathon? I didn't realize we were running one. Like that's not till later this year, man. Like come on, let's chill out."
Oh yeah, sure. Like walking might not be like the thing that you need to take this literally with, but like when you use that same theory in anything in life, staying in the moment, taking it slow, you'll enjoy it way more than you would be if you were trying to speed it up, right? Like you can then
100%.
enjoy school because you're not stressing so much about the outcome of post grad, the job you're going to be working. You just enjoy the moment. Okay, learn some new stuff, move on from there.
Mhm.
With a lot of like
Mhm.
sports, end goal could be go pro or like the end of your career. You'll be like, oh no, that's so close. Take it slow, enjoy each practice, enjoy each moment, enjoy each game, yada yada yada. You'll
Right.
enjoy it way more. And sure, the end will always happen. The outcome will always be inevitable, but so and just enjoy what happens, right? Because the end will be there eventually at some point. It'll just get there when it
Yeah.
gets there.
Yeah. So I think one of the big reasons why being present is important, or the benefits of remaining present, is that it lets you do better at the thing that you're doing as well. You know, we've all had moments where we're jumping around everywhere. You know, I spend 10 minutes doing one task, 20 minutes doing another task, but I'm jumping around. I get a text message, I'm hopping around all these different places. And in the end, I end up wasting 2, 3 hours. I get nothing done, and I just feel worse about myself.
Mm-hmm.
If I had just remained present, ignored these other distractions, right, or set them off to the side to be addressed at a later time, and remain present at the task at hand, I would have got it done, I would have felt better about myself, and I would have been more efficient while doing the task. So, a little tip that they say when you're trying to remain present, especially when you're doing a specific work related task, is keep a notepad beside you while you work. So, when you block off an hour, let's say you're going to work for an hour, dedicate that hour to doing one single task. If a thought comes into your head, oh, I forgot I need to go grab this from the grocery store. Oh, I need to message this person about this thing. Just write it down on the notepad and move it off to the side. That way, it's not remaining in your head, so you're not focused on it while you're doing your task, but it's a reminder there that you will address once you finish the job or once you finish the hour.
A little good Tuesday tip on a Friday there from Abdul. I rate that.
Yes, sir.
I am terrible at doing those things. I am so bad at just getting distracted, going doing something else, coming back to it. So that's something that I'll have to
Yeah,
definitely think about
jumping around, hey?
incorporating. Yeah, I mean, I've got a giant whiteboard behind my table that I have so I could do stuff on it, and I just never end up putting anything on it. Like I'll put the stuff for the
Yeah.
week, but I need to start using it for like the day, for the hour, for all that stuff, right? Make more
Mm-hmm.
use of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
erasable for a reason. make
Yeah.
use of it.
Plus writing it down helps too. Hey, because once you write it down, it's not just lingering around in your memory or in
Yeah,
your
you
mind
don't have to
somewhere.
remember about it.
You don't
You
have
can
to
just
remember about it.
leave it for the
Yeah.
hour, come back to it or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Instead
Yeah.
of it's
Yeah.
like in your mind, okay, oh, I need to do this thing. Okay, let's remember it. And then you're going to
Mm-hmm.
be losing your focus on whatever it is to go think about that for half of your thing, right? Because you can
Yeah.
only really properly focus on one thing at a time. If you have like 3, 4 different things going on, you're going to sacrifice all of them, right? Even though you're thinking, maybe I'll sacrifice one for something else to be full. Neither of them will be full. It'll be half full, half
Yeah.
full. It's a lose
Yeah.
lose.
Ahmad, what do you think? What are some strategies or some ways that a person can use to be present in your experience?
I think for me, like at the start of every week, I just write everything down, like you said, like on a
Mm,
notepad, and then I just slot it into days. I don't go hour by hour, like I'm not that busy of
right.
a person. But I kind of just thought, like put down. I try to get at least 3 things done every day. Um, because I know we're always like, oh, we need to get this done. But I think if you just at least start with like, just tell yourself, you know what, you can even start with one, right? Because that's still progress from doing nothing or doing like a bunch of things half-heartedly. So usually I'll write them down, and then kind of just slot them into the days where they need to be done,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
For
then
sure.
move them around my schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think,
Absolutely.
I think another thing that's really important, we touched on it on the previous episode, is visualization. You can use
Mm-hmm.
that to stay in the moment.
Right.
Like with sports and stuff, right? You visualize it to get into the moment of the game that you're about to play, about the thing that's about to happen. You can do the same with your schoolwork. You can visualize, okay, I'm going to get all this stuff done, get this one thing done, focus on it, get it out of the way. Kind of visualize gets you in that zone, right? It gets you into
Yeah.
the zone to get ready to work. And if you don't visualize or you don't prepare, your mind's not going to be ready. And then you're going to be spending half the time warming your brain up to what it is you're doing. And then distraction, you'll lose focus, complete waste, right?
Right.
So you can, like, a lot of these things that we'll talk about can be intertwined with each other. And
Mm-hmm.
so through using all these things, kind of putting them together, they're kind of all these different puzzle pieces. Put them together, finishes the puzzle, gets you where you need to be.
Yeah. You know, one of the big things why I personally love the idea of remaining in the present for myself is that the biggest benefit of remaining in the present is that it eliminates all of the anxiety with not remaining in the present. Right? So when I'm not in the present and I'm thinking about either the past or the future or all these other different things that need to happen, I'm not addressing those things. They're just thoughts, right? I'm thinking about, oh, what do I have to do tomorrow? Oh, what did I say yesterday? All this kind of stuff. And when I do that, my anxiety goes through the roof. I'm stressing
Yep.
about these false realities. They're not even true. They're not even real. I've just created them in my own head. But when a person stays absolutely dedicated to the present, then they eliminate these anxieties, and I don't even have to think about them anymore because I'm only caring about what's in front of my face right now. So not only does it help me personally do better and perform better and get more done, you know, quote unquote, get more done, but it also lets me get rid of these false realities that I otherwise make for myself.
Well, I think a big one with that too for me is thinking about grades.
Mm-hmm.
Like waiting for grades to come back. Like that detriment, like that's not really thinking in the moment. That's thinking of outside things I've already done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the amount of anxiety, stress, things like that brings to me, it almost debilitates me from being able to do anything else.
Right.
Like I'm so caught up on the things that I'm waiting for that it makes me incapable of doing things in the here, in the now.
Which screws you over in the future because if you don't get
Yes,
the things done now, then they're just going to be things in the future that you don't get done, and then it'll affect
exactly.
that. So
It's
it's
just a
just this
rolling ball
cycle.
thing, right? Because
Yeah.
then I won't be able to do that now, which is if that's another test, do that test not the best, then I'll be worrying about those scores and then
Yeah.
test score. It's just a ball running down the hill. It's unstoppable.
Yeah.
So
It's
I have
the
a question for
cycle
you
of
guys.
death.
Yeah.
When you guys are planning out your day, or like you gotta think about the things that you're doing, do you guys plan by task? Like I need to get this done, then this done, then that done, or you plan by the hour? Like I'm gonna do
Mm.
this for an hour, I'm gonna do that for an hour. Like how do you guys do it?
I personally plan by task. Like I know, let's say I know a task can get done in 40 minutes to an hour. I'll give myself like an hour and a half, and I incentivize myself by basically saying, "Hey, if you can get this done, then the extra time that you have, you can do whatever you want." Right? So I give myself more time than necessary to do the task, but also incentivizing myself that if you get it done quicker, then you can go do whatever you want in that extra time. So it
You're rigging.
incentivizes me to go quicker.
So you're rigging the competition for yourself. Like,
I'm rigging the competition for myself. Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm the same. I do it by task, like, but I'll set up
yeah.
like each because I need to figure out what is the bare minimum I need to do each day.
Mm,
This is the bare minimum I need to get done. This is what I want to get done. So I'll
yeah.
have like the what I want to get done and know, okay, these are the things that need to done. This priority, bang, bang, boom. Usually try and get something done before classes. So like wake up early, get at least one task done. And then if I have
Yeah.
a gap between classes, kind of casually work away at it, class again. And then after classes, it's like, okay, just grind it out, kind of get what I need to do done. And then that's what it is, right?
That's actually a pro tip for university is the idea that figure out what is the bare minimum necessity. Oftentimes, if you look at your course syllabus, the teacher will tell you this and this and this and this. These are the graded elements. So it always blows my mind when people will spend their entire day watching lectures that aren't for grades and they'll procrastinate their assignments because they're like, oh, I need to do it step by step by step. And it just doesn't make any sense. Skip a couple of steps. Sometimes you can fall behind in your lectures as long as you make sure that those bare minimum necessities are upheld, right?
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, like studying for test, sure you could lectures or that, but do you need the lectures to study for that test? Are there PowerPoints that have all the information on it? Is the prof just redundant on it? Is it worth spending 10 hours listening to these lectures that you could spend 5 hours, 4 hours even to do the PowerPoints, make your own notes, do better than what the prof will say, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's like you need to pick and choose what is really the best use of my time because we're inherently terrible at using our time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So through not being the best with our time, we need to know where we can kind of, I guess the word is, I guess, cut corners when it comes down to it. That's really what it is, right? Knowing
Yeah.
where you can cut corners without sacrificing grades, without sacrificing your scores.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I guess the
I'm
funny
at,
thing is, if you
Go
don't
ahead.
cut corners, you're actually sacrificing your grades.
Yeah.
There comes a point where you're doing that, where it seems kind of reversed. Like especially lots of new uni students won't realize that. But sometimes you do have to take those sacrifices, which are for the good,
You have
instead
to
of
figure out how to work smarter or work smarter, not
smart,
harder.
not harder. Yeah,
Right? Exactly,
Yeah.
100%.
because you get
Ahmad,
slammed with so much stuff.
Ahmad, do you work by the hour or by the task?
So I kind of do the same thing that you do,
Mm.
where I go by the task, and if I have extra time at the end of the day, I will play Fortnite or whatever. Like so,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
have that time set aside for myself. But yeah, that's kind of the same thing that I do.
Yeah,
So
100%. I'm
I'll
trying to
try
figure
to
out,
yeah.
like, is it more beneficial? Like, is there some, just because when you ask the question, it's like, would working by the hour be as effective
The
or not?
reason,
I'm trying to think.
actually, the reason I asked that question is because I recently read, like, after I heard about Elon Musk becoming like the richest man in the world, he
Mm-hmm.
plans his day in 5 minutes. So every
Mm,
5 minutes, he's got a task that he needs to get, like, right?
wow.
Well, the
And
thing with
so,
him though is he has meetings. Like
yeah, yeah,
like his whole day is meetings, 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 meetings,
100%, like,
right?
100%. Like, so he obviously has a lot more things to do in his day than we do.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, no,
but
he has a lot more scheduled things. That's the
yeah,
big thing.
yeah,
He has a lot more scheduled things, which he has to be in these set places for. We don't.
100%. Yeah, yeah. No,
So
Yeah,
we
but
so
set
just the
it.
idea. The idea
yeah,
is interesting.
like it blew my mind, and that's why I kind of asked that question. I was like, maybe I'm the only one that's like doing it by task, so
Yeah.
gotta get
Well,
some
because yeah,
energy.
because if you have like meetings, right? Meetings, therefore, you have to be here from this time to this time. So you don't have time to
Mm-hmm.
do those procrastination and things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you have like these open-ended tasks, which just kind of have a deadline, that's when it kind of loosens up for procrastination.
No, but Elon Musk spends most of his time in production as an engineer working on problems, right?
But
That's what he spends
he'd be
majority of his
working with
time.
people still, right? He'd still
Right,
be
right.
working with people. He's not on his
Interesting.
own doing this. He's got a
Yeah, I
team he's
wonder
working with.
how that would integrate in terms of like problem solving. It's a pretty interesting idea. Like if he's like, okay, for the next 5 minutes, we're gonna solve this problem, and we have to get it done in the next 5 minutes. Like that would be a
Well, the
roller
issue is as
coaster of
soon as you
emotions for
fall
5 minutes.
behind, it's debilitating, right?
I don't
Like at
think
least for like
that's I don't think that's how he does it. I think it's just like every 5 minute blocks, he's got something to do. So it might
Oh,
not be like I need to get this done in 5 minutes. It's like he
mm.
has something
he has it
like no
scheduled
five.
to
Yeah,
Every
5
five
minutes.
minutes of his days, there's something happening.
Yeah.
He has it scheduled to the
Interesting.
5 minutes instead of the 15 or the half an hour or the hour.
Interesting. Yeah, that might actually be a pretty cool idea. Just to block everything into 5 minute blocks. I might give that a shot.
Yeah,
He's the richest man in the world. He's got to be doing something right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
you can't tell me he was doing that in college, right? He wasn't doing the 5 minutes in college.
bro, Elon Musk was eating potatoes in college, okay? I would not put anything beyond this man. Like, this guy was insane.
Bro, this guy in
Active.
college was so they had an office that they were leasing for like $400 a month, and that's where him and his brother lived out of. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, like they had this I think the thing was called zip codes or something. It was basically yellow pages online, and that was their
Right.
business that they're running at the time. And dude, like they didn't have like any place to live, and they would basically have like one YMCA membership, and since they were brothers, they could like use the same card,
Yeah.
and then that's what they would use for like showers and everything.
That's
And so,
crazy.
dude, like these guys bootstrapped everything, bro. Like,
Okay, let's try
That's
and get back
insane.
on topic
Yeah.
here.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get back on topic here.
Um,
So,
So
um,
how can we
go
stay
ahead.
present? So what are some things that we kind of some strategies we could suggest that allow people to stay in the present?
Yeah. I think one key thing, we talked about the notepads. That's more
Yeah.
work related.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is key in terms of person to person, staying in the present when you're sitting down for somebody at lunch, at dinner, when you're talking to a friend, is look them in the eye and don't think about what you're going to say next. I heard this from a clinical psychologist who was talking about the importance of eye contact. And if you maintain eye contact, the person, it develops a significantly deeper connection. You kind of zone out the rest of the world around you. But also don't think about what you're going to say next. The reason that he said this was because oftentimes in conversation we're not really receiving information, we're not really present because we're thinking about how are we going to respond, right? How am I going to respond to what Hudson says? How am I going to respond to what Ahmad says? And how am I going to say my point? He said, instead of this, ignore that. Ignore what you're going to say. Have nothing planned to say in the conversation. Just be sitting there willing to receive the information and then be intensely curious about the person's perspective. And I think that's a pretty good tip in terms of how to remain present.
Yeah, I think another good one is like notifications. Like I know for Abdul, you just turn off notifications in the
Oh,
control
yeah.
center. But I go with the when I want to like actually get work done, I put my phone in do not disturb. Do not
100%.
disturb face down, so nothing
That's,
shakes,
yeah.
nothing vibrates, because it's like, okay, those are the times I want to, and then when I'm not, then it's open, so I can actually see things that I'm getting, right?
Yeah.
Kind of pick and choose those moments where it's like, okay, now I need to focus, do not disturb, phone down, zone into what it is I need to get done, so then I can't be distracted, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little extreme with that. I don't have any like I have notifications, but I don't have sounds turned on. So I don't get any vibrations or anything like that. And only when I look at my phone, I will see that the notification is there for everything except for phone calls. And my reasoning is just because I can get to the rest of the stuff later. It's usually not that important. But if it's a phone call, then I'll still hear it. And odds are, if somebody's calling, that means that they need to talk to someone immediately or they need something done quickly. So
Yeah, it's
that's my
usually
own
important if it's a
rationale.
phone call. Phone call is,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
something
yeah.
that needs to get done.
The
I
downside
usually
is that now I have to pick up my phone. Before I
yeah.
used to just ignore phone calls. Now I actually have to pick it up.
But I do something very similar. So I same thing, like do not disturb, put my phone down. But I have a phone case that has like the GTR logo on the back, and so when my
Mm,
phone's down, it kind of forces me not to like just focus on like getting work done, so I can work toward
hmm
that goal.
Every time you go reach over to the phone case, it says GTR, and you're like, man, if I want that car, I can't pick up the phone right now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that kind of really works for me. So I mean, you got to find what works for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different for everyone, right? So you just have to kind of trial and error some stuff and see what it is that works best. So the question back to like the quote is speed inherently bad? Is it
Right.
inherently bad? And should we all slow down and just kind of take our time with everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say that speed isn't inherently bad because, like the quote says, speed has a utility. But
Mhm.
that utility is generally speaking when you're the fastest one. That's when its utility is present. So I don't think it's inherently bad, but I think the way that it's manifested itself in society and in my own life has turned it to be a little bit toxic. It's running on a hamster wheel, right? I think that's how speed has developed. So I think it's necessary to move quick. You can't kind of just be sitting around all day and hope that eventually something's going to happen. You do have to take action. But I also think it's very important to not miss the point of life while you're trying to achieve this thing.
It's kind of like, I guess the way to look at it is like when you're on a road trip, right? Your car itself is moving quickly,
Mm-hmm.
but if you look out the window, the scenery is moving nice and slow.
Mm.
So you got to enjoy what's around you
Yeah, that's a
while
perfect
you're,
analogy.
while you're moving, right?
You're
like your
still
car,
progressing. You're still
yeah,
progressing.
yeah, but everything around you is like, you notice, like when you look out scenery and mountains, they look like they're
Yeah.
barely moving. So that's what like you need to be feeling in the moment, like you're barely moving, even though in reality you are still going pretty quick. So it's not inherently bad if you're looking at it from a perspective of the slow things with you moving quickly.
Yeah.
But it is if you're looking at yourself being that car and only looking straight ahead and seeing your car moving really quick.
Yeah, yeah. If you put on little blinders, you don't even
Yeah.
see the landscape around you,
And you
then
see
that's
yourself
a real
going
shame.
130 down the Trans Canada, just absolutely ripping.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also like, like we're on this earth that's like spinning however fast that it's spinning, right? But we're in the moment, like we're on earth, so it doesn't really
Mm.
feel as if we're
Yeah,
going
yeah.
that fast, right? But if we were maybe like if we were like on like an extended like elevator or something and we
Mm-hmm.
were like very far out, then we would see like earth moving very fast, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that something can be moving incredibly quick yet appear to be slow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the key, right? Is to continue moving very fast, but recognize the scenery on the side of the road or, the earth that you're
Yeah.
living
Well, it
in.
almost makes it seem like even if you're moving quick, you looking at the slow stuff isn't going to slow you down. You're still going
Mm,
to continue quick,
you're
right?
still going just as quick.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you perceive it differently. That's what it is.
exactly.
Perception is everything when it comes to that. You perceive it to
100%.
be slow, yet you're moving quick, so then you can enjoy it, and then it just works like that. It works.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, great discussion today, guys. We went on a little bit of a tangent talking about Elon Musk, but we got back on track. We hope everybody could take something away from today's podcast. Is there anything else that you guys want to add?
No, we're good. I think I
Good
don't
to
want to say
go?
both. Imad,
just thank you for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying the conversations. I know you guys can't really leave any comments on like the audio format, but if you have any questions or any concerns, let us know like in the comment section on YouTube, and we'll try to answer if there's any topics you want us to cover.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you guys can catch the full video format of this podcast on YouTube. You can find the audio version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and even Pandora. If you would like daily clips and content, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and definitely reach out on any ideas and topics that you guys might like for us to talk about. Have a great day.